Hello everyone. I use iMovies to edit my videos. You can use any software, but the principles are the same. So here I'll just show you what goes through in the video editing process. Over the years I've become very fast at this, so I am doing it in my routine speed. I've added the video to the timeline, and with this scroll bar I can just check what parts of the video I have to modify. So I'm clicking on crop, and this is a crop to fit function. This will allow me to reduce the surgical field of the video, but it will also reduce the pixel amount of the video. So an HD video, if I reduce to this much of an area, it becomes about 720p or even less than that. So now I'm working on a single video clip, that is the timeline has not been cut into multiple clips. So this is the time I would take to see if I'm happy with the color of the video, if I'm happy with the saturation, the exposure, all these things. If I want to modify, I can do it, but it's better to do it on a single clip, because if I have to do it on the multiple clips, there might be some inconsistency in the final result. So one of the clips might look as overexposed, one of the clip might look underexposed. To avoid all that, it's better to have all the color correction done before we start cutting the timeline into multiple clips. Over here I'm very happy with the color and saturation, but for the sake of demonstration I might show in the later part of the video where it has changed. I am hovering on the timeline to see where I can begin the cut. This is the cut, and where the clip will end. So just before the die enters the anterior chamber, I'll end the cut, and in between these two cuts, whatever portion is there, the clip, that I have deleted. There are certain drawbacks of uploading unedited video. Nowadays it is assumed that average YouTube viewer will have an attention span of less than 2 minutes. So if you upload a video that is about 10 or 15 minutes in duration, the viewer will just have to scroll through the timeline in order to find the information that is relevant to him. So good editing actually saves him the screen time, and it produces a information dense video which keeps the user hooked on, and there is more chance that he would follow through till the very end of the video to know what is your relevant conclusion by the whole process that you are showing in the video. So as you can observe, that majority of my time is gone in knowing where exactly I want to place the cut and how many clips I want to delete to get an information dense video. You will also observe that the scrolling on the timeline is very fast, so I'm able to just put the cursor on the timeline, and immediately the image on the right top corner of where that timeline is, where that cut is, it's immediately refreshed. This is because the computer I'm using to edit is based on SSD drive, the solid state drive, instead of the older HDD drive. The scrolling on the timeline is also faster because I'm using a trackpad. So the white or the grayish color scroll bar that you are seeing at the bottom, I can move it rapidly on either side by using the trackpad, and with that same trackpad I am able to select and I'm able to cut where I want the clip to be edited. So I'll speed up the rest of the editing cuts that I have made, and I'll show you directly what is the final number of clips that I got. So just if I zoom out on the timeline, you can see here that there are about 7 cuts that I need for this video. So now I'm selecting all the clips, they become yellow. I'll click on the color palette and I'll make some changes. These are quite obvious, you can see what these things do on the screen. I've added a little bit of blue color, then I've changed the exposure, I've made the video darker a little bit so that it's more soothing to the eye, it doesn't appear too bright. As I said before, you can crop the video before you start the editing, but that just gets the process of cutting slower. So in bigger videos, what I need to do is I'll crop it after I make the clips. So selecting all the clips, clicking on crop to fill, and I'll drag this window, make it smaller. this also reduces the resolution of the video, so an HD video will directly become a 720 or a 480p video. If the centration is not maintained during surgery because of patient's head movement, then this is a good way to ensure that the final output video which you want to present appears centered. Centration also brings the user very close to the action that is happening in the eye. So you can zoom in a lot into any aspect of the surgical field with cropping. So cropping is like zooming in into the surgical field. This comes at the cost of loss of resolution. So if you have a 480 or a 240p video or a non-HD video, and if you try to crop in into that, the video will become blurred. But if you have a higher resolution video like a full HD, that is 1080p, or say a 4K video, then you can crop into it into an extreme level, and the loss of clarity on YouTube is not very visible. I have added a title to the video. This is the title page. Once you click, this blue bar appears on the top and you have to stretch it to the end. It creates a watermark from the beginning to the end of the video. I'll just type in the name of the surgery, intumescent cataract, and if I click on the bottom, I can put in my name. Now the title is done. Now let's see how the title appears at the beginning. This is the way it's going to be. Now I also want to show this small animation just before the actual surgery starts. So this small clip is there in my video library. I'll add it to the timeline and I'll drag this clip to the beginning of the timeline so that it is how the video will start when the video is played by the user. So it will appear like this, the animation followed by the video. I recommend to add the audio in the end, because if you try to add it before and then start cutting the clips, the audio can also get cut and it affects the synchronization of the audio with the video. What I do is I add multiple music clips to the surgery video, and then in the end I check if the length of the entire musical clips matches the length of the surgical video. Now if the lengths do not match, the only option that you have is to speed up a part of the video so that the music is completely synchronized with the surgery. Otherwise you would have to end the music abruptly. So after I hunt down few musical clips which will take me as close to the end of the timeline as possible, the next thing what I have in mind is to speed up a part of the surgery video so that the music ends along with the end of the surgery. So the bottom green area with the peaks, they represent the audio file, and if I zoom into that like this, I'll be able to see where there are gaps in between the two consecutive audio files, and I'll move them around so that there is no pause in the audio while the viewer is watching. Now let's go to the end of the video and see what is the balance audio that we have to speed up so that it matches the end of the audio. So selected this clip and I have clicked on show speed editor, then I just drag this clip, make it shorter so that the sign of the rabbit on the clip, it shows that the video has been speeded up. If you make it slower, it shows you a tortoise. That's what is nice about this user interface in iMovies. It's very simple to understand. So here I have matched the end of the audio and the video. Now let's see if we have any more gaps in the audio that we want to fill. I think this looks okay now. Yeah, there is a small gap here, and I'll just fix this gap, and I have to move the whole audio, the next files, and again I have to add a speed editor to the last clip so that the audio files in the end they match with the video. So now if you decide to change the music and you say that you don't like this music, you want to change it, it will simply take you back to square one with the whole speeding up and synchronization and all the other process. Now let's say I want to have a background music and a strong voiceover to my video. There will be a combination of both. So I'll be running two different audio files. So the music file, I will reduce the volume from 100 to 40, and with this reduced music volume it will appear as if it is going on in the background. And after that I can press on this microphone button, press on record, and start recording the audio at this point. So you can see here the red line, that's what is recording the voiceover. After the editing is over, you just have to press the share button in the right top corner of this software, and it will give you the output options. At what resolution do you want the final video to be rendered out. If you crop the video, you have to render it at a slightly lower resolution, and if you do not crop it, you can render it at your routine resolution. Thank you for your attention in watching this video.